Holy shit.
Holy shit, we missed you guys. We're back.
We just went back and looked, and it's been, like, almost solid 2 months.
It was like December 8th was our last recording session. I don't know about you guys if you've been following along on social, but a lot, and I mean a lot has happened.
So we're gonna drop all the updates.
Yeah, it's
All
a
of the
lot.
updates.
So
So
pull up a chair, get
get
comfortable.
comfy.
We're gonna let you know what we've been up to and why we haven't been online as much.
Yeah, especially on the podcast as much. Dating back to December, you were fresh out of surgery, and we were on our way into the holidays, and I don't think we really knew just how crazy it was about to get.
Well, it's funny that you should say that because the last recording that we did with y'all and talked about my recovery from top surgery and what that was like, in the back of my mind, I knew that there was a proposal coming up and that I was going to be asking Ember to marry me because I was like practicing every day, getting down on
I
one
had
knee,
no idea.
making sure that I was able to properly ask the way I wanted to, which was
Especially
on
because of surgery, like, being able to lift up
lift and
and
reach out, and it was on a hike in the snow, and so it was just like all of this shit went into it. But not only that, like the strategic plan that had to be created and go down perfectly, or this one would know. She would find out. And I feel like I delivered.
you
I delivered on that.
executed flawlessly. I had no idea up until the moment of, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that because we are together all the time. And you don't get very many texts or calls that I don't get wind of, or I'm not sitting beside you and I can glance over and see it. And the way that you were able to incorporate people and places and even appointments or meetups where you scoped out certain areas, and I had no idea, still to this moment blows my mind.
Yeah, I feel like my whole thought process when I started was like you said, we are always together. We do everything together. We are in lockstep. And like when somebody's talking to me, just know you're not just talking to me. You're talking to both of us at all times. You're talking to
Same
both of
though,
us.
yeah.
And so I went into work mode and I was like, I need to treat this like a job and let Ember think that this is a freelance job for content creation. She's going to think we've been hired for this shoot to help out this event that takes place near us. And I'm going to roll with that. And so I just built it up.
And it was so smart the way you did it because the people utilized were the people that I've already done jobs and freelance work through anyway, so it wasn't something that I questioned. I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do it." So then you were able to hype up the outfit and have our outfits kind of match because it was like, there's going to be pictures taken.
Right.
So it was all of the details that needed to be in place without actually knowing why they were in place and thinking it was for a different plan. But once the engagement happened, like the proposal happened, and then we rolled into the evening, I think I've said it a few times where it's like, it felt like being a classic Disney princess met with, like, the most heart like, just heartfelt romantic movie you've ever seen. Like, it was like a love story that you see only in theaters, and you all like, think to yourself, "When am I gonna get that?" And I got that all night. I was treated like a princess
Yeah,
all night.
so let's talk a little bit about what the night consisted of because there was a lot of detail that went into it. And yeah, even back to figuring out the outfits to wear. Now, you know, when you're asking someone to marry you and you want to do engagement photos, you want to do
And you
all of the
have a
things,
photographer hired.
you want to dress the part.
Mhm.
And so if I would have started telling Ember, hey, we're going to get dressed up and we're going to go here or do this, she would have known. She would have known something was up because we had already been talking about like toying around with the idea, like, you know what, fuck it, let's get married. We know we told everybody we didn't want to get married. If you listen back to all of our podcasts in the past, like you hear us say over and over again, we're not getting married. The government is not part of this. And then with the you know, with things shifting in the world like they are, we started to feel like, you know what, fuck that. we have every right to get married too, and we're not going to miss out on that opportunity in case we
I
change our minds.
I knew at one point that there was discussion surrounding an idea that there might be a proposal, but I definitely did not know that it was gonna go down in that way, so
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we went shopping together and this whole time it's like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing some content creation. There's a hired photographer. I don't know the photographer, even though secretly I did. I
shout out
just
to MB.
I just like played the role, right? And yeah, so let's get in like what
So
was
we
the
show up. I I'm sure not everyone is familiar with the area, but there's an area near us, Kohler, which is again a place that I've done a lot of freelance through, a nicer part of town, very beautiful area that you brought me to. And we go out on this really pretty snow-covered hike essentially, but it was a walk, but we saw deer in the background walking on like frozen lakes and I don't know, the whole thing was wild. And we hiked out, I don't know, a little while. It took
yeah.
probably 10, 15 minutes to get out there and lots of pictures are being taken all over. I'm being told to like stand here and turn here and hold your hand back here. And so at one point the photographer said, "Okay, Ember, you come forward and you're going to walk in front of Kirby and then you're going to reach back and turn around." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm like walking in front of Kirby and I reached back and the photographer's like, "Okay, now turn around." And as I turned around, you were down on one knee and I freaked out a little bit.
I was freaking out the whole time because I was like, I knew I had timed everything out, y'all, and I had been planning and replaying this moment and over again in my head for weeks. Okay, this
When I
whole
tell
my
you
whole
guys,
recovery was like that was keeping me going.
Kirby had the biggest fucking smile on their face and I like danced over to them with my hands behind my back like some little fucking schoolgirl. I was so excited. And yeah, you did the damn thing. I said yes, obviously. And then we kept walking up the trail a little bit. And for me, it was all of the little thoughtful things that you incorporated into the night that for other people, they might be like, ah, yeah, okay, cool. But for me, it was taking all of the different parts of my interests in my life and incorporating them into that moment. So you had reached out to my boss and had collaborated with them to create this handmade sign that was carved and it had our initials in it and it was nailed up on a tree with a picnic basket underneath with blankets and a champagne bottle and like wine glasses and all of the things. Um, so we tried to open the bottle.
Yeah,
You
I
kind of
did fail
failed.
on that. I'm not like I do not pop too many bottles of
How
bubbly,
nice.
right? So like champagne's not my thing, but for that moment it was, and my hands were
It was
so
so cold out there.
numb that when trying to use my thumb to like to pop it, like it didn't happen. I failed on that,
That's
and
okay. We still poured
we can just pass over that part of the
we
story.
poured a couple glasses of champagne and I was so excited about the sign. I was like blown away. Hiked our way back, took more pictures by the fire.
On the bridge, like
Yeah,
oh my god, there's so many. If you haven't seen it, it's on our Instagram.
frozen
Um,
fairways in Kohler, Wisconsin.
it was
Freaking gorgeous.
we had a dinner. The dinner was
Okay,
amazing.
so that's the other part where a lot of my freelance work leading up to this was menu creation. And I've done a lot of menu design and menu formatting. And so this particular restaurant that we went to, I had made the menu that was laid out on our table that night, but it was customized to say, "Congratulations, Kirby and M." And I was like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, how could this all be happening right now?" So we
Yep.
had a really good, very bougie dinner.
It was a nice dinner, and then we rolled right into our very first carriage
Horse and carriage ride.
horse and carriage ride, and that was really cool.
Yeah, especially because it was so cold outside, but your little carriage where it was just the two of us is heated and it just felt so romantic and cuddly and there was snow everywhere.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
cool.
beautiful.
It was really exciting.
We
So
stayed at a hotel right there in the same area.
the
Um,
American Club, and if you know of it, it's beautiful there, and
I
yeah,
had never stayed before then, and I had always been
same.
told that it
That was my
was
first time staying
really.
there too. Yeah.
It was a really, I mean, I would stay there again for sure. It was beautiful, and the bathtub blew me away. The water literally fell from the ceiling. It
Yeah,
was
it was
crazy.
really cool. So, and then there's more. If you
So then we were engaged for all of
like 4 weeks, like maybe 4 weeks.
not
You
even
guys,
no.
come on. Like that's so on brand for us. Like not only are we in lesbian time, right? Like everything's a little I don't know,
Expedited?
expedited, accelerated. So yeah, we had a fast follow of a private, just the two of us, elopement. And we had only really shared the news with our kids, our moms, and maybe a couple like coworker people to get the time off of work.
Yeah. I feel like we knew that it was gonna go down for a couple weeks before, but we did a really good job keeping it a secret, and that was by design because we didn't want the stress of anybody, saying anything or wanting to be a part of it. And while we have other ideas for potential including family and friends in the future, at the time it was just really important to us to just fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
full send. We know we want this. And truth be told, it's kind of like a race against some of the things that are happening in the world with the government and such. So that sat in the back of our mind as well. And it just made sense. And it was better than I could have ever imagined.
So when we decided that we were going to elope in Vegas, there was a moment before it became like reality, and I had said, because you did a courthouse wedding before,
Mhm.
and I had said like if I get married, like I don't know, like we were tossing around the idea of like what our wedding would look like and this and that, and I said, I don't know, like there is just something about like the wedding capital of the world, going to Vegas and doing the damn thing and just making it feel big,
Yeah.
bigger than ever. And not having all of the details that go into like a traditional wedding. So while we knew we wanted on paper um our marriage to be legal, we were reacting quickly. We also didn't want to just have that standard courthouse, go there and call it a day.
Right.
We wanted to make a really big splash. And you guys, I don't know if you've seen the videos, the pictures that we've been sharing, um, but they're incredible. They are incredible.
And again, I think that's so us to do something intimately just between the two of us that nobody knows, but have tons of content and photos to share with the people that have supported us from the get go. And I think that was really huge too. We spent a lot of time finding our photographer and the areas that we wanted to take pictures in, picking our ceremony spot because there are multiple options. And,
Mm.
a lot of people are like, oh, Little White Chapel. And that was something we considered and it was cute and all. But then settling on the dry lake bed, and
Mhm.
we spent tons of hours on hours looking at other couples that had been married on all of the different places and kind of saying like what feels right to us. And so then it became kind of a two-step thing where it was, okay, we're going to have our ceremony on the dry lake bed and it's going to be intimate and we'll have a photographer out there, but then we'll go downtown to Fremont Street and we will fuck shit up and have the normal, or not, I shouldn't say normal, but more popular nightlife, a little more raunchy and fun
Yeah.
vibe. So
We got the best of both worlds. And we
did.
had two different photographers. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of my tools and insight on searching and planning. Was Reddit came in clutch,
It
y'all.
did.
Now, I found a ton of photographers to reach out to via Instagram and TikTok by searching for wedding photographers in the area. But what really pulled through was Reddit, and I'm not a big Reddit user.
Me neither.
So when our photographer in the evening asked us, he's like, "Where did you even find me?" I was like, "Bro, Reddit." Like, I'm telling you, like you
But
can start to nail it down on there.
he was incredible. If you're looking for a photographer in the Vegas area, hit us up. We will absolutely give you the information.
Some of he's tagged on some of our content that we share too.
Yeah, it was I don't think I have laughed that much in one night in a very long time, and I don't know if I will again in one night in a very long time. The whole thing was just so much fun,
It
and
felt like we were all just hanging out.
yes.
It was so laid back and chill. I mean, as soon as we got like met in the spot that we were filming and shooting, he was like, "You guys want to get like, you guys want to stop here and get a drink or something?"
He
And
literally
so,
brought
like,
us into a liquor store and was like, what do you guys want to sip on while we're waiting for the videographer? Like, and
It
he
was
was
just
just,
casual.
it
It was
was
just like so casual, just like
so laid back.
walking down the strip, having a beverage and laughing. And he felt like it was a breeze, like, oh, you guys are rock stars. And it's like, I think we've done a lot of our poses before because we usually film and shoot our own photography and content. So we work, quickly together to like get in our stance. But it just felt really good. It
Hmm.
felt really good.
Yeah. So I had never been to Vegas leading up to all of this. I had driven through once, but I had never been to Vegas. And there are for sure some takeaways. We had a lot of fun and we rode the high roller and we had dinner in the Eiffel Tower. And the night of our wedding was pretty magical. But overall, holy shit.
Do we talk? Is this a safe space where we talk about the bachelorette party?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That was okay. So it's wild. So the whole reason we're in Vegas is because I'm speaking at a conference. If you don't know, I'm a influencer manager for a big brand. So I was speaking on behalf of this brand as an influencer manager. That got us a couple invites to different happy hours and dinners and such. And so we met some people along the way. One of the invites that we had the night before the wedding,
I'm just gonna say it. The whole reason is because we're lesbians. That's why we ended up
you
where
think?
we ended. Yes, because Tanya found us, talked to us because we were a lesbian couple, and she was like, "I see
Yeah.
you."
Yeah. So we got this invite to a dinner, and we brought along two of our friends that we made who were also are also lesbians.
Who
And
we absolutely
yeah,
adore, by the way.
we're like, I don't know, like there was just something so cool about the night of like, it's been really hard living in a very small town, especially for me, not being able to start with a clean slate. Like everybody knows our past story. Everybody knows we were once married to men. Everybody knows we came out later. Like y'all get it. But to be in this moment where it is the first time people are meeting us and we get to share and tell our story from a clean slate.
And I'm introducing myself as like Ember Kennedy at this point, and like nobody knew anything except for Kirby and Ember Kennedy,
Yeah.
a newlywed lesbian couple.
And so it was making its way around this conference, like, yo, I heard you guys are getting married today. I
Yeah.
heard you guys are getting married. So naturally, people wanted in on this experience. So we meet this group and go to a dinner. Now, I'm going to let you describe the dinner because you described it so perfectly with mashing two movies together. And I don't know if you remember that, but
Oh,
you
yeah,
described
it was The Hangover meets, what did I say?
The Notebook for our whole entire
Yes.
thing. It
Yeah.
was like the Hangover meets The Notebook.
Yeah.
So we'll talk
Our
about
wedding day was The Notebook. It was
For
so
sure.
romantic, so incredible. Our impromptu bachelorette party was like The Hangover in real life. We get invited to the dinner, and our friends text me about an hour before we go, and they're like, "Hey, did you look this place up?" And I was like, "Nah, dog. Like, let me just do that real quick." So we do. It's called Super Freako, downtown Vegas. The party at Super Freako. And basically, we walk into this little room, and there's this woman in there who is just like unlike any other woman I've ever met in my entire life. And we record a quick TikTok with her, and we're kind of getting a vibe for the place. And it kind of comes across as like a speakeasy, definitely live entertainment vibes. That's really all I could pick up on at that moment. They bring us into the room and sit us at the table, and I shit you not, there were some of the most talented people I've ever seen in that room that night doing the most off the wall shit that I had never seen anyone do.
It's like a talent show meets like
Burlesque, but also like a little bit of like a strip clubby vibe was sprinkled in.
there was a bubble maker,
He was incredible. He literally created art out of bubbles.
vape bubbles.
Vape bubbles. A little bit raunchy, a drag queen cow that sprayed us with his udders.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was so much fun. After dinner, we ended up at a couple different places, a bar inside of a chandelier, and then this disco ball bar where we got this VIP treatment and tour. Free shots all night.
We were like up way too late. Like it was like 3 a.m. by the time we called it a night. Like
and we didn't plan any
yeah.
of this.
We didn't plan any of it, but the whole night just turned into like, yeah, like it's your it's your bachelorette
And
party.
the
Like,
best
yeah.
part, y'all, the best part, we didn't pay we didn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
It was all funded by friends and
We made like new family. We were like, you guys, when we have the ceremony, when we have the real
like y'all
ceremony,
are
you guys
invited.
are gonna be out there with us.
They were so ready to jump in and just give us the night of our life.
We did an Uber karaoke
We did to
with the
old
whole
school
group of people.
boy bands.
Yeah, it was a night that I will personally never forget. Like I've
Same.
never had, just like having no plan for a planner like me, like it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting to be like, whatever, like we're doing the damn thing, whatever it turns into, like I'm down.
Yeah.
Like I'm down for fun.
And some of the best things that have ever happened to Kirby and I brought this up a little after we got back from our trip, are the things that aren't planned. And it brings me back to one of the birthdays that you were in Denver when we were long distance. And I had this whole night
Oh,
planned.
yeah.
And the whole night ended up shitting on me. And the show that I wanted to bring Kirby to canceled last minute. And I'm at lunch with Kirby. They have no idea what my plans are for the night. And I'm frantically trying to find a replacement for this show that I had booked. And we end up at this other new place that I told him what had happened. Well, then Kirby got a special song, a birthday song sung to them right there in front of everyone in the crowd. And we got these front row seats. And again, none of that planned. It just happens to us sometimes. And
We have this like thing that we say and we put in the universe all the time is like everything always works out.
yeah,
Everything good always happens to us. And
we manifest it.
I encourage y'all to start like if you have trouble just like trusting the universe, put a little bit more faith and trust. I know it's hard right now. It is like I get it. But just start saying everything always works out.
Mhm.
Everything always works out. It's going to come together and it's going to work out and it's going to be
I remember when we were long distance and I talked to a friend of ours who have been on this show, Heather, and she said, anything you want to manifest, write it on a piece of paper and put it under your pillow. And as silly as that sounds, seriously, do it and think about it every single night. And I think there's some truth behind manifestation.
Mhm.
But the downside to doing the bachelorette party was that we woke up the next morning feeling a tad bit hungover, which was our actual wedding day.
Mhm.
And surprisingly, we waited until the very last minute to get ready. Kirby had a small crash out.
I was like still working in the morning, like just taking it easy.
And then we're like, oh, fuck, the driver's going to be here in like 2 hours. We got to get in the
we
shower.
didn't even order flowers.
Until like 90 minutes before the
It was wild. Like we called like so nonchalant. We were like, yeah, we just like to order like a bouquet of
You pick
flowers
the
and like
color.
a boutonniere. And yeah, it's just for a wedding. Oh, when is it? Today, like at 3:30. And I'm pretty sure her jaw just dropped to the
She was
floor,
like,
y'all.
let me see what I can do.
And she was
for
like,
you."
excuse me, wait, a wedding? Today.
Yeah.
What colors? And we were like,
But that's
yeah,
the
we don't really
thing.
have any colors, so like just go with it.
It all worked out. We got our flowers delivered to the hotel. Our driver showed up and we were not quite ready, but made ourselves as ready as we could be. We ran out in a frantic. And by the time we got in the car, it was like, all right, it is what it is at this point. We're both so fucking happy despite all of the other stuff happening.
There was, and there is like, okay, so going back to like everything always works out. There was random things that happened, y'all, that could have taken our focus, our energy, and like where our mind and hearts were. Like, I got my period the fucking night before.
That
like,
happened.
that's a big thing to like all of a sudden just be hit with your fucking period and be like, okay, now I have cramps and I'm bleeding and I'm about to go get married in a desert, basically, with no bathroom nearby.
Yeah.
Like, please be on my side, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm ironing my only white dress shirt to wear and the iron that I'm using in the hotel has like
Black
some residue that got on the sleeve. And that's in the moment I crashed out. I wanted to cry. I'm like, my shirt's ruined. What am I going to do? All of these little hiccups of like throughout the day. And, we got out to the spot, to the dry lake, and we just,
It was
like the very first thing she said, our officiant was like, breathe. I just want you guys to breathe. Just breathe and exist. And I literally felt so tiny out there because
Yeah.
it was just such a big open space.
Mhm.
And Yeah, it was cool. And I even shared with you after the fact. Well, what were you gonna say, real quick? You were
I
gonna
was
say,
just gonna say that it felt like the minute we got out of the car and put our feet on the ground and looked around us, it was like all that craziness kind of was like, okay,
yeah, like we
it's
just kind of
we're
like
good.
we're
We're
good. Like it's
good.
okay. Like
No
there's no
matter what happens or what we look like, or even if you did have a black smudge on your shirt, like we're marrying each other
yeah,
in
and it
this
was just
moment.
us and
Mhm,
two other people out there, and
mhm.
um it was really cool. And the other part that I want to put out there is my self-awareness of moments where my dad showed up.
Yeah.
And like I know maybe that's crazy to say out loud, but like having somebody like a parent that's no longer living, there are moments where they still show up and they let you know
You
that
should share what it
they're
was.
part of it. And so we're out there to say our I do's. And in the distance, we're it literally, like if you look at the picture, it is like a dried up lake. There is nothing around but mountains. And um I hear drumming, and my dad's a drummer,
We
and
all
like
heard drumming.
and so there was a moment where like I pick up on it, and I like almost recognize this rhythm. And my dad passed away from cancer, and part of you know towards the end, have video of us, like he's drumming, I'm playing guitar, like just different little things. And then in the evening, when we were at Fremont Street doing our evening photo shoot, there was a minute where we walked through this area, and there was someone singing the song My Girl.
Mhm.
And that was a song that my dad and I have always loved and sang together. And it was playing. And
And
again,
so you
I'm
pulled
not like stopping and sharing and saying, like, Amber, yeah, it's my dad. Like, I'm not
I
doing
had
that.
no idea
I'm just
that
clocking it, right? I'm just
yeah.
making these mental clocks of like, oh my God, like you're here.
I
You're here
see
with
you.
me. And to me, that's a big deal because like I didn't get to come out to my dad.
Mhm.
I didn't get to share, the love of my life and who you are and all of the details. And I have to trust that in my heart, in my world, in my version of the story, there's acceptance and love and happiness all shared together. And in those two moments, that was all I needed. That was all I needed in that moment.
Mhm. Yeah, I had no idea that you had those moments until a while late.
Until just
You
like last
just
week.
told me
I just told you.
recently.
And like for whatever reason, when I have a sign, um, from somebody who's passed on, and usually it's just my dad, but like I hold on to that. Like a lot of
Mhm.
the times I don't like run out and I'm like, I don't feel like the need to share it. I'm just like, wow, that was so special. I'm gonna hold on to that for a minute. But I am glad that I did like open up and share that with you.
Yeah, I'm sure there is something special about keeping it to yourself for a while and having that, you know, to hold on to until you are ready to share it. But it was incredible. So then we came home married and told the
The
world.
world, basically.
Started posting and sharing
The amount of
and
side, like, surprise looks that I got from people at work where I'm coming back from a work trip, y'all. I'm coming back from a conference. So, like
PS.
like, optics are a thing in corporate world. So, like, I didn't wanna put all the emphasis on, like, "Hey, y'all, I got married." Like, I just, like, tried to be, like, so nonchalant and downplay it, like, "Yeah, the conference was amazing." Like, it was. Like, it truly was. I, like, flail my
Mhm.
hands a lot when I'm talking.
Tuck it
It was
in.
truly amazing. And, I didn't want people to think that I was just out there for one thing. That's not how I operate. I do a lot of things at once, you guys.
Clearly.
A lot of things at once. And so, yes, I am the person that like w- was a panelist at a conference and represented the company I work for. I worked up until my the time that I needed to work, and then I went and got married. And
They
like,
worked up until 2 hours before they got married. Let's be so real right now. Um, but I wouldn't have done it any other way. Even the mishaps, even the crash out, even all of it was just so us, so authentic, but
and
also
y'all, I cried. I cried during our
and I didn't, which was surprising.
during like
My
our
eyes teared
elopement.
up, but you did. You cried through almost the entire
I think it was like I am a very scatterbrained. I take on a lot of thoughts all at once, and I don't relax very often. And so in that moment, feeling so tiny and just placed in this big open space with just the two of us, nothing else around, nothing else to interrupt us. We didn't have our phones in our hands,
Mhm.
like no music, like it was just us. And in that moment, I knew I was right where I needed to be.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So moving forward, we might do some kind of ceremony of sorts or something, destination wedding, who knows?
Yeah.
Where it's all kind of up in the air. But we've officially been married now for a solid like 2.5, 3 weeks.
So do you still like me?
I love you. I love being married to you. It's funny because like over the last 2 weeks, we've gone a couple places, some that we didn't really plan on being, but most recently, we spent some time in the hospital for one of our kids, and
Because what, like you
there
always do.
yeah, right. So, there were multiple times where Kirby dropped everything and came and met me at the hospital, which is just like, I'll make a video about it, don't you guys worry, but introducing ourselves to multiple nurses and staff members was like, "This is my wife. This is my wife." And while I say wife a lot on TikTok and videos that I make, I don't do it as much in person because it does confuse people that either know us or
It does. And that's why I know I was never big either on social. Like
oh
I was
man, I
always like,
loved doing it on
I was like,
social.
I know, but like for me, I was like, when I use the word wife, I want to be able to mean it and scream it from a mountaintop and have the piece of paper and be like,
Yeah.
yes, this is my
Well, and
wife.
that's what I was getting at was being in the hospital and being able to say like, "This is my wife," or, we're the moms, my wife, Kirby. And knowing that there was actually, like, proof to back that statement felt so good.
Mhm.
So next up, I get to change my last name for the first time ever in my life. I think a lot of people think I've had multiple last names because I have been married, but surprise, I've always been who I am right now, and that's a last name I'm not connected to and have been ready to get rid of for a long time, but have never found the right
Mhm.
person to feel like I want to get rid of it for. So,
That's exciting.
I'm really excited about that part.
I'm excited for that too.
I need to practice my signature.
Yeah. So we are the Kennedys. We are revamping one of our TikTok accounts to the Kennedys, where we're hoping to get a little bit more
We just wanna let
fun.
loose.
We
We
want
wanna
to be
be
fun.
silly. We wanna take real life things that we're doing as a married couple and apply it to what we're sharing on social.
And we don't want to just do it on TikTok. We want to do it across the board. We want to do it on Instagram. We want to do it on YouTube Shorts. We want to do a lot of things, y'all. I think the biggest thing that I can say out of this last couple months is while you might not have heard from us and you're like, what happened to Kirby and Ember? Just please know and understand that when you are truly living in the moment, you don't have a lot of time to stop and explain it and share it. It's just like, it's just how it happens. And so, I mean, you notice today, like, whole different background. Like, we're in a different room in our house. We're trying out a different spot to see if that allows us for more recording opportunities with y'all. But yeah, I mean, we're just in living in the moment. Um, and respectfully, with everything going on right now in the world, in the United States, in Minnesota, we're everywhere, but we're trying to be also respectful of how much we're sharing and how much, we don't want to just sometimes it's hard to share happiness when there's horrible things going on. And so it's like I get back and forth in my head, like I can't share anything because there's so many horrible things happening right now in the world. It's not fair for me to share these moments.
Mhm.
But it's fair to not like make them not be noticed and give people hope and just warm fuzzy feelings when they see true love and happiness like come together the way it has for us. And so that's why we're here today. We're showing up, we're continuing to share our story, whatever that turns into with the time that we have, while equally living in the moment and existing. um we're here, we're showing up.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about filling your time with social media and such. It creates a void in reality, and when your reality is filling your cup to the point that you don't need anything else, social media kinda ends up on the back burner, and I feel like that's kind of where we've been a little
Mhm,
bit
mhm.
to an extent. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do our best to keep showing up and all of the things and
But, like, what are you guys dying to hear from us? Because 'Cause I'm sure there's, like, a lot of stuff you're like, "Well, what about
yeah,
this? And you said something about that." Like, remind us,
yeah.
refresh our memory, and, like, bring it in a DM or, in this video here in the comments, like, let us know, like, how we can continue showing up for you what other areas of like support are you guys looking for? Because at some point I'm like, is our like obviously our story's not over. We're not done in sharing all of our fun updates, but like what is it that you guys are like, you know what? You guys have been doing amazing things, but I really could use some more help understanding trans non-binary people, or what the fuck do we do in the world today and how
Well,
can we support and help?
yeah, and I even had a friend of mine reach out to me recently who I went to high school with who has found herself in a long distance relationship and wanted to know how I made it work co-parenting with my ex-husband and our 3 kids that go back and forth in different states.
Mhm.
There are so many moving parts to our story that
Mhm.
are not your average situation, and I think we bring a lot of insight and education in a lot of those areas. However, I told you recently, and I mean it when I say that as time continues to move forward, I'd like to move away from always sharing used to be married to a man, now a lesbian, and more so just,
Mhm.
hey, I'm Ember Kennedy. I'm married to my wife,
Yep.
and this is our life,
Yep.
and we have 8 kids and a blended, beautiful family. And this is what we do, and this is who we are. And so while we're always available to be here for you guys in any way that you might need us, um, I think that's part of falling in love with someone online, or a couple online, or someone you look up to online, is that you do get to follow them through their journey. And I think I feel and see a shift in our journey already happening, but continuing to happen
Mhm.
as time moves
'Cause
forward.
we're getting further away from 3.5 years ago when we met, or 3 years, whatever it is, when we met, and that was our story, that was our angle, that was our hook for everybody that landed here to watch us today. That was our hook. We used to be married to men, and we left our marriages, and we are now together.
And it's always going to be a part of our story. In fact, we just recently read through our journal that we used to send to each other during long distance. And it's so silly the way in the beginning of the journal we wrote, we're not going to leave our marriage. We're good with having our cake and eating it too. And like we were so set in that way. And just to know how fast things
Well, and
change.
I think we were just, like, naive to, like, the how powerful the love between
Hmm.
2 lesbians can be, and, that changes everything, and understand like, I think in that moment, we were still putting forward and making the effort to do what we thought everybody wanted us to do, what we thought got us, um, the approval that
Hmm.
we were seeking. And I think once that's all stripped away, there's things that you can take through on the other side and realize like that's not just your story. We were kind of joking around the other day and we were like, I've been married. This is my third marriage. So like I don't even like saying that. And like I've been married to men twice now. And I like to say that it falls off like a bankruptcy. Okay. And like after a certain amount of time, like you don't have to bring it up anymore. Like you don't have to discuss it. That's not your story. Like there are, it falls off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board with that. Yeah.
And I know you've noticed this, but I've even shifted as far as when I'm talking about my ex, Tommy, I refer to him as my son Jet's dad. I don't refer to him as my ex. I don't put that label on it anymore. I don't have to you can customize, right? You can customize how you want. And it's for me it's hard because I didn't get to cut ties from everything around me. Like I stayed in the same small town in the same location and I didn't get to just like pack up and like have a completely fresh start and story to share with people. So I have a lot of like spider webs, right, of my past of like not just one ex but two. But to me, like I can still customize it and tweak it to be like, no, I don't have to tack on that anymore. I can just say so and so's dad.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yep. And it's taught us to have voice and boundaries together as a couple as well when you do, because I did get to pack up and leave, and so a lot of my boundaries that I set in place I don't really have to reiterate all that often because I'm so far away from it. But it's taught us how to be vocal and say we're okay with that but we're not okay with that. And
Mhm.
again, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of that's not normal moments throughout the time that we've known each other. But that's us. That's
And I
just
think to bring it home is like the biggest thing for in those moments is that our communication, and this we can share like on the next episode, but
On the
like
next episode.
our communication style and how we are approaching things. Not that we were doing anything wrong before, but y'all, we have leveled up. And I want to make an episode out of this because I really truly think it can help other couples, other lesbian couples, because it is different because you bring your emotions and the way you unpack emotions is different than a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different.
Yep. And I think you hit a sweet spot in your relationship where communication no longer feels forced, but more natural. And that's when you know that, like, you're in the fucking, like, you got it. You've learned how to talk to each other. And I don't feel like that happened until recently for you and I, where we've always had good communication. We've always known how to talk to each other on a surface level. But as of the last, I'd say 3 months, it has really fallen into a place of, okay, I'm just going to say what I need to say. I'm going to be vulnerable in this moment. I'm going to cry if I need to cry. I'm not going to hold anything back. And we trust each other on the other end to accept though, like that, those feelings and that conversation. And then furthermore, take it another step and like actually fix it or
And like
tweak
quickly,
it.
like put action behind it quickly. It's like all the way up in like that moment of the day or next day of already like laying out the to-dos of and
How am I
doing
going
it.
to make this
And not
for
just having the
us?
conversation and then like hugging it out and like walking away. It's like
Because how many couples do that? Have a conversation and then they find themselves in another situation that's similar. And
because
it's
it'll
the
just
same
snowball. Like
thing.
it just comes back. And
There's
so
no
like you
change
have to
behind
hit it head on.
Mhm.
Crucial conversations. You have to be willing to have that.
Mhm.
And like I know like one thing that was always hard for us was like ugly cry, like when we're talking and it's like you try to hold back because you're like you don't want to show like how upset you are, but like
I
it's
think we've
just
both
part of
gotten
it.
past
It's
that.
just part of it. Like you have to lean into it. And anyways, we can make a whole episode about that. We're
We
rambling
will.
now.
We will.
We're just happy to be back, better than ever. So many new exciting things to share. And
Wifed up.
yeah, wifed up here too. And so many people like that are in the background being like, but you're non-binary. How could you be a wife? Bitch, I'm a wife.
That
I'm
is
a
my
wife
wife.
too. It's okay.
I call them my daddy wife sometimes. So if that makes you feel any better.
I want to do a whole episode around like where I'm at with how I identify because I still identify as non-binary, but I lead with non-binary trans masc lesbian, which is a lot. And I want to unpack that for y'all, and I want to see what y'all think about it. But that's another day too.
Yep.
But we're excited.
Glad to be back.
We're super excited. So
yep.
That's all.
See you next time.